issues that you have to take in consideration when determining whether zoning is permissible. In this particular case, they ask you to look at how long the land has sat. This land has sat for years. They also ask you to look at what is the best use of this land. The best use of this land, and the term that's most familiar to everybody is the highest and best use of this land, is zoned the way that the applicant has applied for. It's zoned industrial. I live in this community. I live right back from this particular location. And when we're talking about traffic, there's no really traffic on that road. But the alternative that he has to do, he already has permission to do it, is to put 50-something homes up there. That's without your permission. He can do that. He can sell it to a developer and put 54 homes in that particular location. That would not be good for our community. That's not good for our public safety. Commissioner Henderson just talked about the safety issues that we're having, the gun violence that we're having. Archie Shepherd just came up and talked about it. That's a strain on our community. The best use for this property is to zone it exactly the way the applicant has requested. The best use of this property is for us to benefit from $200,000+ a year in tax revenue. Commissioner Henderson said in one meeting that tax abatements have been his sword. Every time we get a company in, we give him all this free tax abatement. That's not applicable here. He's not asking for that.
Thank you, ma'am. That portion of our public hearing is closed. We also allow for 10 minutes for those that want to speak opposing this. You may come at this time. Please state your name, your address for the record, please. Anyone want to oppose? Please state your name, your address for the record, please.
My name is Raymond B. Redding. I live at 3091 Fairview Road, Covington, Georgia. I look at the property that they're discussing here, and yeah, it's been sitting there for a long time. Okay, there you want to put a warehouse there. I think the impact to me is when people taking their kids to school, you got trucks coming in. If you're coming down Salem or on Fairview, you're going to be holding people up. So I think that the traffic analysis they showed, if you use it the way they're showing it, we're all going to be late for school. I got to go to Cousins. If you got trucks coming in that road right there, and one of them gets bogged down, we're late. I'm not opposing to jobs coming to the community. Now, if you're going to have those jobs meet for the citizens of Newton where it would benefit, hey, that's great. But you got to think about the impact on the citizens that live in that area also. I live over there. And I don't know, I just don't want a lot of traffic bogging down my exit in and out of my community.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else that would like to speak opposing tonight? Anyone else that would like to speak opposing tonight? That portion of our public hearing is closed. Commissioner Sanders.
First, I want to ask Judy a question. When was the first time this was placed on the zoning agenda? Well, the zoning planning commission, planning commission.
It originally went to the Planning Commission on January the 26th, 2021. And at the public hearing, it was motioned by the board to table the petition until the February 23rd, 2021 meeting to allow the applicant to address some of the concerns that were raised during that meeting, which was traffic impact, and the speculative use of warehouse without there being an end user. On March 23rd, 2021, it was brought back to the Planning Commission and they heard the petition and they did recommend denial by a vote of 4-0 at that time, which moved on to the April 15th Board of Commissioners, in which it was tabled 90 days, and we are back after that 90 days.
And I remember, Judy, when we first conversed about this, and I was trying to ask questions about it, and I had so much pushback from the community. I think one of the issues that we both discussed is they did not know what was going to be in the building. And so, and this is a question. Once this building is built, how will the citizens know what is going to be placed in that building? Because that's been a major concern. And I heard Ms. Lindsay mention those various things, and also Dr. Carter mentioned those things as well. But the citizens' concern was having something built so close to their neighborhood, so close to their homes, so close to their area. Ms. Lindsay lives in Oxford, which is on the other side of District 3. So having those various things placed in their home in areas where these people actually live there and not knowing what's coming, that is an issue. So it's not that there's against the warehouse or the development or whoever's doing it. I spoke to these nice gentlemen. They put on the event for the people. They're very nice. I appreciate all that you've done for the community. But as a commissioner for a community, it is my job to make sure I go with the people. And it was denied by a board, a planning board. Y'all put these individuals on that planning board. They denied that by the planning board. And there were hundreds, almost 70 or 80 of District 3 that was on there denying, did not want this in their area. So my motion tonight, and I know all the other commissioners have their own vote, but I have to go with my community who stated that they did not want this in their area. My motion tonight is to deny the case number REZ21-00011.
Make it a second, please.
Second.
It's been motioned by Commissioner Sanders, second by Commissioner Henderson. Any more discussion? All in, Commissioner Edwards.
Yes, sir. Actually, the way the ordinance stands right now, bearing us not having the moratorium, this is in the Almond overlay, which would allow up to 3 homes per acre. So potentially you may be looking at a little less than 90 homes on the property.
Commissioner Mason.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I was going to ask, and I don't know if this would be to the gentleman that presented. So those individuals, I know Commissioner Sanders said that there were some citizens or residents that didn't want this there. Did all of those individuals attend the community event? And then after they attended the community event, did they actually state that they, once they were educated on this, that they still did not want it after they all attended that event?
Thank you, Commissioner Mason. I can actually answer that question for you. Yes, they did. The meeting was actually invited by the HOA presidents of various. They didn't invite the entire community. They invited those who were HOA presidents of various areas, and some that did not live on that strip that live in District 3 did show up. It wasn't advertised as it should have been because of how it was advertised, but the planning meeting, they showed up for that one. It was over 50 plus individuals that were there that voiced their opinion, and also those that lived in the subdivision right next to Lido, because they had no idea that Lido was coming when you guys voted for that. They found at the last minute that a warehouse was being placed in their backyard. They were on that call and said, we do not want to go through this again because we were not properly informed that a warehouse is going to be placed in our backyard in our $400,000 homes, and there's going to be a warehouse across from us. Let us have our peace living in our $500,000 homes.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to clear up that the Planning Commission meetings were actually at the beginning of this year held via Zoom. So the attendees were on a Zoom call. It was in attendance to the meeting, but it was not held in this boardroom.
Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Ms. C. So what was the vote? I know they denied it, but it was unanimous.
Yeah, it was 4-0 at the March 23rd Planning Commission hearing.
Thank you. I have a motion on the floor. All in favor? Yes. All opposed? The motion failed 3-2.
A motion.
Oh, that's right. I need a motion, guys. That motion failed, so I need another motion on the floor.
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve REZ 21-000011, subject to staff recommendations and conditions.
Can I get a second, please? Can I get it's been motioned by Commissioner Edwards and second by Commissioner Cowan. All in favor? I'm sorry, any discussion? Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. See, once again, our Republicans, they have taken over District 3.
Commissioner.
Thank
All
you,
in-
Mr. Chairman.
All in favor? Go ahead, discussion.
Again, the question is whether or not this property is suitable for residential housing. And that whole area there, I actually grew up in that area, toward Old Covington and Salem Road, so I'm very familiar with that area. But it's always been as a small residential community right there. There used to be a round track racetrack there, and then there's Vantage Products has come in. So that's the only real use of that property. Feasible use, I think, is industrial. If you try to go to a commercial zoning, that's going to be a spot zoning because there's no more commercial in that area. It's either industrial or you leave it residential, and I just don't think residential is suitable for that.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Mason.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to put it out there that this board does not vote based off of party. And so I just want to say that it's not about what I'm called. It's about what I answer to. And so I don't answer to anything that I don't live up to.
Guys,
So I just want to put that out there.
guys,
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
listen. We're gonna stay on the issues. The issue right now is a zoning issue that's before us. So Commissioner, please talk about the issues that's before us. Commissioner Sanders.
Thank you. Commissioner Cowan, when we talked on the phone, you said the applicant.
So guys, so we don't address each other.
Okay. Well, when Commissioner Cowan and I spoke on the phone, he gave me an idea of what could be placed there, and it was cabins. He said if I own that property, I will put log cabins there and rent them out, and actually have an area to where people who come in to visit, it will be a great location. That was one of the conversations I had, so I'm kind of dumbfounded right here, where he said the only thing to be on there is industrial. When the conversation was, he said he would put log cabins.
So guys, I'm calling for the motion. All in favor? All opposed? It passed 3-2. Thank you, Ms. Judy.
Oh, thank you. The next item before you this evening is CUP 21-000001. On July the 2nd, just to refresh everybody as to what this request is about, this is a conditional use request to operate a special events facility at 19 Poplar Hill Road. This is located in District 5. This is right where District 5 and 1 split, but it actually is located in District 5. On July 2nd, 2021, the applicant sent an email requesting to withdraw the petition without prejudice. Would the board like to act on that, or would you like for us to go through the hearing?
Meaning she was drawing.
But you still have to motion if this board does allow for that, it still has to come in a form of a motion.
Commissioner Sam, go ahead.
And I don't know if you're able to tell me, is it a reason why she's pulling the petition? Did she state, or we can't?
Well, my understanding, and she did send an email, there were several items that was necessary in order for her to move forward,
Okay.
which was a survey. There were concerns about some additions to that existing barn. There was concerns about the septic tank location. And to be quite honest, as busy as everything is right now to get a survey, you're several weeks or months out. So I don't know if it is because they just couldn't get all the information. If you withdraw without prejudice, it does allow the petition to come back in front of the board when perhaps they're ready to move forward.
Was she able to come back again?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
We're gonna ask Megan to give us a motion. If she don't mind. I think this is in District 5.
5. I would recommend a motion as follows. I make a motion to accept the applicant's request to withdraw her petition that was sent via email on July 2nd, 21st, without prejudice, such that she can refile at a later time.
Can I get a motion, please? Commissioner Cal. You want Commissioner Edwards, go ahead. For our public hearing, the applicant and those that want to speak in favor tonight, you have 10 minutes to do so. You may please come at this time. Please state your name and your address for the record, please.
Hello, Chairman and Commissioners. I'm Mark Walton with Patrick and Associates Surveyors.
Hello, sir.
It's my pleasure to present tonight this rezoning application. Hopefully everyone can hear me. Judy and the staff has presented pretty much a lot of the relevant information. I would like to point back out that this is in the Salem Road overlay, that it encompasses 4 parcels, 2 different property owners. It is within the development node as identified in the Salem overlay. We are seeking rezoning to highway commercial and the uses that are allowed within the commercial area. Going on through the staff analysis, we pretty much agree with all of the analysis. Salem Road is planning to be widened by DOT, and I believe that that is going to start occurring in 2022. There currently is not a particular user on board. What we're trying to do is by rezoning these parcels and having the flexibility, then the properties can be marketed for different types of retail uses. We do not anticipate a fast food restaurant because right now this property would have to be served by septic tanks. Running sanitary sewer to the property will be an expensive venture, so we're not anticipating that. I'm trying, as Judy mentioned, we have listened to what the community has said. We tried to we are increasing the buffer from 15 feet to 25 feet, and we're voluntarily putting up a privacy fence to further screen whatever potential use here occurs to prevent it from affecting any of the residential neighbors to the south. Beyond that, I think I would like to reserve any time, introduce the owners, and stand up here for any questions that y'all have.
Thank you, sir. Would anyone else like to speak in favor of this, please? Please state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Stephanie Lindsay, 75 Longview Drive, Oxford, Georgia 30054. I'm also a principal of one of the owners in this particular project. I am one of the principals of CSCL Holdings LLC. I've had that company for several years. We have other properties that are owned by that company. We purchased this property contingent upon, well, we initially offered a fund of money contingent on change of the zoning. We later went ahead and purchased the property because we looked at the plans that the county had for the property. We looked at the fact that this was a area that was potentially going to be zoned commercial. It was actually marketed as commercial when it was for sale. And we looked at using the the Smith Store roadside to build an office. That's what the plan was. As we started getting familiar with more of the issues that the property had, one being septic tank issues, another being that one of the issues at the Smith Store roadside was that it was too small. There was a retention pond that was needed. We decided to kind of change gears with what we wanted to do with the property. But that was just for 2 of the parcels. I provided a breakdown.
Excuse me, ma'am. Ms. Lindsay, if you would, bring them in, I'll pass them out. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it.
Doing the due diligence, I actually went and walked and talked to the other neighbors that were around this property, just kind of to see what their temperature was in terms of what they wanted to do, what they thought they would envision for their property. Because when you're kind of new to doing something like this, you want to make sure that you're not offending anybody. And that's what I did. I talked to the Hewells. I talked to Mr. Bly. There's a gentleman across the street that was ironically very happy to find out that this was going to happen, because it turns out a lot of people in that community, in that particular area, they want their property zoned commercial. And the reason is, one of the reasons why Mr. Bly got on board was because Mr. Bly says his property is located on Salem Road. He has 2 lots on Salem Road. He has 2 houses a house on each lot. He can't sell the house. He can't sell the property because not that many people want to live right on Salem Road. With that being said, in evaluating the land use future map that the county has approved, talking to the individuals, the fact that we all know that everybody always gets concerned about traffic. There was a traffic study done. You saw the traffic study. You have it there. One of the contingencies that you have to have in place when you're doing anything dealing with applying for a zoning issue or having a business come onto a particular property is you have to get approval by GDOT to make sure that everything that you're going to do on that property is going to be consistent with making sure that the traffic measures are stayed in place. I think that is important to know. I know that there were some residents in one of the neighboring subdivisions, I think it's Westminster, that had some concerns. We addressed every concern that they had. There was a meeting that took place yesterday where these concerns were addressed. I always tell people it doesn't matter how often you tell individuals that their property is not going to change in terms of value. People feel what they feel. If your property value didn't change with big box Walmart coming, your property value definitely is not going to change with these small businesses here. This property is not ideal for a restaurant at all. It's more ideal for office space. It's more ideal for a law office. It's more ideal for a realtor's office, a spa, a hair salon. I know a convenience store is good for Mr. Bly's property at the top of the corner. But for the most part, anything that's done here has to go back before the Planning and Zoning Commission. They're going to set conditions for anything that is done. I own property. I know that I wouldn't want somebody to come and infringe on my property rights, but I don't want that either. The highest and best use for this particular property is commercial highway. We keep kicking the can down the road and we can't do that anymore. I was a part of an organization called Smart Growth. What we did is we looked at the businesses that would come to the community and how the community was changing, and we tried to do it in a way that was not going to be offensive to the community, not going to be offensive to private owners. But I'm a private owner too. Mr. Bly is a private owner too. The Hewells are private owners too. The Hewells that are in the middle, they wanted to be a part of it, but my understanding is that the mom and dad passed away and they have not had an opportunity to change it out of air property, but they expressed sincerely that their dad told them that they need to hold out for this to be commercial. So we're asking for this board to approve the application that has been submitted. Again, there's no end user in place. I was going to be the end user on the Smith Store Road side. Depending on how things go, that may still be the case. I'm not sure. But the bottom line is, I also have, and I want to make sure it's in the record, a petition. In which we went door to door to people in the community. We told them about the property. We told them where it was. We asked them if they need any additional information. We also told them where they can get additional information because the application that was filed is a public record. These individuals signed and said that they approve and they support this project to be approved. That's 65 signatures there that support this. I understand that there are going to be people that are probably going to come and talk about traffic. Again, I provided you the standard of review that you have to adhere to. Each one of y'all are educated. Y'all know exactly how traffic studies are done. Y'all already know how impact traffic studies are done. You know, based upon your experience, your skill level, your training, and frankly, your expertise as board members, that each and every application that's submitted has to have a traffic study. You also know that there are things that have to be put in place to address traffic issues. Traffic is not an issue here. This is not going to be what is called a destination property, where people are going to come from DeKalb, Fulton, Lithonia to come to this spot. This is a neighborhood site, and that's what it's going to be used for. The people that are going to frequent whatever businesses come to this site are going to be people that are already living on that road. There's not going to be any extra traffic. I'm familiar with Salem Road. I actually used to live off of Fairview Road, so I'm familiar with the growth that's here. There's a lot changed since 1998 when I first came here. There's a lot changed since 2000. There's a lot changed since 2010. But we are asking for the board to approve this zoning measure.
Thank you, ma'am. You got 38 seconds left. Would anyone else like to speak in favor? You have 38 seconds. 38 seconds. Please state your name, your address for the record, please.
Good evening. My name is Dwayne Stephen. I reside 70 Joshua Creek Road. I come tonight because I'm in favor of this project.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? You have 34 seconds. Anyone else? Anyone else? Thank you. That portion of our public hearing is closed. We also allow 10 minutes for those that want to oppose. You may come at this time. You have 10 minutes to oppose tonight. Please state your name and your address for the record, please. Anyone want to oppose tonight?
My name is Nancy Penn. My husband Kenneth and I own 87 Smithsville Road. We've lived there since 1968. I beg to differ with Miss Lindsay. If she asks the people that live behind this 6-point-some acre property who have to try to get out of their driveway on Salem Road, on Smithsville Road, or make a left-hand turn, the traffic is always congested. We already have 6 gas stations, 5 fast food restaurants. We have a super Walmart. We have everything right there in that corner. You don't have to go anywhere. We have a strip mall with nail salons at Publix. There's one across the road at Walmart. There's a hair place. I mean, we have all, I didn't even count all those little bitty Subways and the 3 or 4 restaurants that are in the Publix shopping center. Publix has a delicatessen. And if you allow these people to build this subdivision, who's going to make sure that they put the buffer up, the privacy fence? If you go down there to Westminster, there was 50-something people on the Zoom line last night. We didn't have a community meeting. I really wish we had. Then you would have heard all those 50 people speaking that we don't want this. We don't want the congestion. We don't want any businesses. We bought these places to be residential. Look at the people in Buck Creek. They bought their homes there. They don't want any more businesses. We don't need them. Please keep Salem Road residential. And you talk about widening the road, it's going to stop at Smith Store Road and Salem Road. And how in the world can they get that done by 2020 when they haven't even bought all the property? 2022, excuse me. They haven't even bought all the property. That's just a guessing game. I mean, and why stop at Smith Store Road and Salem Road? It's already backed up at 230 from that red light at Smith Store Road. It's backed up on past Buck Creek, almost to Cowan Road. And when school's out, it's even more congested. Please listen to us and let it be residential. It's maybe zone commercial, but wait till Salem Road is done. Wait till there's less traffic on the road. Give everybody a chance. Please listen to us people who live there. And we had a good meeting last night, but I wish that everybody would have been there where we could have spoken and let you know out loud that we do not want that property. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else would like to speak? Please state your name, your address for the record, please.
Donna Lindsay, 140 Glen Isle Drive, Covington, Georgia. I have multiple points. One is the point about no additional traffic. If you have a business and cars are constantly pulling in and out, whether it's additional people or not, it's additional traffic because of the in and out creating issues. This drawing shows 2 driveways on Smith Store Road, which is where I live. And when you go up, this is right at the red light. You're almost always behind where that shows the privacy fence, backed up. You add additional people pulling out there in an already congested light, and there's no way we're ever going to get a turn left. And for those of us who live on Smith Store Road, several of y'all know this area well. The only other way you could go to get to Walmart or to get to the gas station or go to Chick-fil-A is you would have to go all the way back down Smith Store Road and either all the way go down to Oak Hill, go left to go to 81, go all the way back to get to Walmart, or you'd have to go to the right, go all the way down to 212, go to the red light at Brown Bridge. This is the only route for us to get to Walmart, to get to Publix, to get to the tire store, to get to Chick-fil-A, any of those fast food restaurants. If this has to be commercial, it should absolutely not happen, in my opinion, till after it's zoned commercial. Till after the road is widened, so we can handle any of this additional traffic. To me, this is being done strictly as a financial play, so that the property is worth more, making GDOT have to pay more for it because it's zoned. And right now, the applicant and one of the owners is in violation of a code enforcement violation, which they are very aware of. There's a bobcat, a dump truck, a camper, and an excavator on property which is not allowed because it's less than 10 acres. Again, since this is the only way we can get out of our houses to get onto any part of Salem Road without going an additional 4 to 5 miles out of our way, it would seem to me that if this is going to be approved, it should not be approved until after Salem Road is widened. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Good afternoon. My name is Cynthia Cord. I live at 15 Silo Point, Covington, Georgia, and I am the HOA president for Heritage Point. And we live off of Salem Road. We've had several meetings about our community and getting involved. We are 100% for investment and improvement, but as the lady just said, we would like to see it develop more. We have horrendous problems with traffic. Everybody understands it already. But for the unknowns, nobody was able to identify what is going to be there. We had a public meeting the other night. This is a possibility of a gas station or who knows, but we don't know, so I'll leave that alone. But for the unknown factors, I am opposed of it for now, and I would like to disagree with this. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Good evening.
Good evening.
And my name is Lawrence Edwards, and I'm a resident of Westminster Community. My address is 450 St. Anne's Place. And I've spoken here several times in regards to our disapproval of what's being proposed for this particular area. I moved from Decatur to retire down here in a peaceful, low density area. And I think this is just going to complicate it significantly. We have the whole community has concerns about appreciation of value in our homes. Equity is growing, but you get too much commercial around you, it's hard to sell your property. The congestion, the noise, all these kinds of things would definitely affect the serenity of our neighborhood. We have 35 new homes that are being built in the community, and a road will come out on Smith Store. And this would negatively affect all the traffic in that particular area. So we honestly feel that we're well served with all the things that we have, all the amenities that we have in the community. We're well served, and I think this is not something in consideration of the residents there. It must be for tax digest or whatever reasons. But I feel that Newton County is a wonderful county, something that everybody can enjoy. But I think it shouldn't be about bricks and mortar. It should be about the people that live there and their appreciation of a nice community. And I'll say that there are other alternatives that we see right there on Salem Road. There's 10 acres of land, I think it's commercial, but between Smith Store and the Walmart. Okay, plus there's 15 acres for sale now behind the Walmart. There's land down Brown Bridge, with the Chick-fil-A and Taco Bell and all these other sites that can accommodate these new offices and new office parks. We don't want blight. We have areas over there across from Kroger where it's a lot of blight now. People have left these buildings and offices, and it's terrible for the community. So I don't want to take a whole lot of time, but I will say Westminster community is not in favor of this. With those other 35 or more homes coming in, I think it's going to be a very poor judgment to approve this. But all we can do is ask, and so we just ask you consider empathize with us basically, and consider that if this was your community, would you want that as well? So I do thank you for this time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else?
My name is Brendan Cherry. I live at 30 Glen Isle Drive, Covington, Georgia, 30016. And I just wanted to echo a lot of what was said already. I agree with as far as the traffic goes. And I understand that maybe this isn't a destination, but I think any disruption to the traffic patterns is only going to increase the difficulty in navigating that intersection. I know coming from Salem Road, turning left on the Smith Store Road, it can be difficult to make that. And I've sat through several light cycles waiting for an opportunity to be able to make that turn. And there's no dedicated turn light there to be able to help with that. And I've been there where I've seen those backups all the way back almost to Cowan Road. And then the gentleman before me, I thought, stated well that we are well served. A lot of the proposed things that could go there, I know fast food has been addressed. There's numerous ones we have there. We have several gas stations already. In the public shopping center, there are already several vacancies where there are opportunities for people to come if they want to put a business there. And as the gentleman before me stated as well, there are plenty other places over in the Brown Bridge, Salem Road area where you could build developments. And so I just don't think it's necessary. You look at the needs of the community. I don't know that it meets any needs that we have. And I think it only goes to complicate the issues that we already have there at that intersection.
Anyone else? Anyone else? Thank you. That portion of our public hearing is closed as well. Commissioner Mason.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Before I actually make my motion, we did have a information session last night where we did have a presentation because I wanted to make sure that that the citizens of District 2 were informed. And so I am here to represent the citizens of District 2. I've told them over and over again that I represent them. And I am their advocate for District 2. And so per the District 2 residents, Salem Road really isn't positioned currently to handle any additional commercial enhancements due to the expansion of Salem Road still being in process. And so with that being said, Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we deny case number REZ 21-000003.
Thank you, sir. Can I get a second, please? It's been motioned by Commissioner Mason and second by Commissioner Sanders. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed?